Hello, I'm ArchieLuxury and welcome to the program. Today I'd like to tell a story about a Louis Vuitton President Briefcase which I bought. And this is a true story, and it involves one of my father's clients. My father's a CPA and in private practice, and he mainly looks after business clients. Anyhow, this is a true story that was that I heard, and it prompted me to offer to buy this briefcase. So I'd like to tell the story. And firstly, it involves a Russian immigrant, a business immigrant, who came to Australia with his wife and children, and we'll call him, for this story here, we'll call him Yuri. And Yuri came to Australia. He had $1.5 million in cash, obviously in the bank, not in banknotes, but he had $1.5 million, and that's how he got his business visa. And basically, Yuri had to buy a business and employ some Australians for a period of time to qualify as a business immigrant. And let's be honest there. Yuri was from Russia. And he'd made his money out of extortion. It's just a fucking, mafia fest in Russia. So communism killed all the capitalist spirit, and after they killed communism, all the fucking weeds came up. But I'd like to tell you this story. It's a great story, and this involves a Louis Vuitton President Tiger Green briefcase. It's my Tiger Green briefcase. And so basically what happened was Yuri came to Oz, and he bought a house for $500,000, 4-bedroom family home. And my old man said to him, my old man being the accountant, he said, look, pay the fucker off, have no debts on it, and it gives you a good starting block. No, Yuri knew better. Yuri put the money into Pacific First, which is a mortgage company who lends the money to developers. And Yuri said, well, I can get a bank loan at a certain percent. I think it was about 7%. And First Pacific will pay me 10%. And so no, I'm going to buy the house with a mortgage and put my money in First Pacific First. So sure enough, he does that. And after the global financial crisis, the fucking money is frozen, and you just know how it fucking ends. It all ends fucking terribly, right? And then Yuri had to, as I said, for his business visa, he had to go into a business. So he buys a little snack bar, coffee lounge, internet cafe, and decides to open a little sort of coffee shop, restaurant, come internet cafe, that sort of thing. And obviously, he being Russian, he's as tight as a fucking fish's ass. He won't pay for for professional advice on it. He knows best, and sure enough, he fucks it up. Everything's a fucking disaster, and basically, it gets pretty bad. So he started off with $1.5 million, and that sort of he just went fucking to shit, right? And a few other things he did just were disasters. And anyhow, the money's getting whittled away. He's got money fucking frozen in Pacific First, and it's just an absolute fucking disaster. And he signed a 5-year lease on the little coffee shop, and it lost money from day one. It's so fucking bad. Its turnover per week was less than the outgoing. So, you can just see what sort of a fucking disaster it was. He had his wife cooking there, and the food was substandard. It's just fucked. And with typical Russian customer service, it just was a fucking disaster. So anyhow, Yuri's the lease, he'd signed a 5-year lease on this fucking shop. He'd been there 2 years, And after those two, I think the actual rent was about $70,000 a year, and it was just a fucking disaster. So he closes it, and there's a Chinaman. A Chinaman owned the shopping centre, and Yuri goes to him and says, this is after Yuri's been there, I think it was 2 years or 2.5 years, and he's behind in the rent. It's just a fucking disaster. And Yuri closes the shop, lost a fortune on the fit out and the all the fucking, the all the equipment and all the fucking, the things in the shop. They're worth nothing second hand. It's just a fucking disaster. So he's about $70,000 behind in the rent, and he's signed a lease where he's still got, I think it was 2.5 years to go. So he's got a liability. If you can't get a new tenant in, you've still got to pay the fucking rent. That's a 5-year lease. It's a complete fucking schmozzle. And he's desperate. Yuri's it's all gone fucking terrible. I mean, Yuri's now driving taxis. That's right. He's driving a cab to put food on the table. It's just a fucking disaster. And so anyhow, he's $70,000 in arrears to the Chinaman, and he says to the Chinese landlord, he says, "Fuck," he said, "I'm really fucked. Can you get me out of this lease?" He said, "Look, I'm really, really fucked. I've lost all my money. If you can cut a deal with me, I'll give you what little money I've got left." And Yuri had lost a lot of the money in just fucking stupidity, and he had $35,000. And Yuri said to the Chinaman, "I tell you what, I'll give you 30 grand, and for that $30,000, you extinguish the $70,000 in arrears I am, and you cancel the lease so that I don't have a continuing liability." And the Chinaman went and thought about it, and he said, "Oh, okay, yep, that's all good." So he goes, "Okay, no worries. Give me a couple of weeks, get the money together." And so anyhow, he meets the Chinaman. He goes to the Chinaman's office, and he says to the Chinaman says, "Yep, no worries here." And Yuri said, "Look, I've got it for the money for you in cash. It's no problems, as we agreed. It's all cash. Can you just give me a receipt to say that the lease is extinguished and I don't owe you any more money?" And the Chinaman says, "Oh yeah, look, no worries. Look, I'll put it in the mail today for you. There's no problems there." And Yuri, being the Russian that he is, he says, "Oh, would you mind putting it in? Would you mind just putting it on a piece of paper for me now? Don't worry about posting it out. Just write it down now by hand. It doesn't have to be typed." And the Chinaman goes, "Oh no, I'll post it to you. Don't worry. I'll do the right thing. It's no worries." And what Yuri did then was he'd already sort of given the money to the Chinaman, and with that he said, "Oh, I'd really like you to give me a receipt, please. I've given, that's all the money. I haven't got much money left. I'm really fucked. I'm driving a taxi, and it's life's really become an absolute bitch, and I'd really appreciate it if you could fucking give me a receipt." Chinaman said, "Oh look, it's all okay. I'll do it for you." And Yuri, with that, just like the Chinese can be arrogant little fuckers, with that, Yuri opened his Louis Vuitton President briefcase, opened the briefcase, and he pulled out a handgun, and he said to the Chinaman, "I'll give you 60 seconds to decide on the receipt." 60, 59, 58. And Yuri said he's never seen a Chinaman write a fucking receipt so quick in his life. And Yuri said to him, he said to the Chinaman, he said, "Look, you shouldn't have fucking forced me to do that. And if you go to the police, or if you don't stand by your receipt you've given me, next time there won't be 60 seconds to decide what to fucking do." And yep, that's the story. That's Yuri and the Louis Vuitton President Briefcase. And I really love that sound effect there of the lock opening on the President. It's got that fucking springy lock, and it just, pull out a fucking handgun. Now, I can't tell you what sort of handgun it was. I can't tell you what caliber it was, but I can tell you it had real fucking bullets in it. And that's what happened. That's what happened with Yuri there. And a bad fucking decision, and things went bad, and people are desperate. And that's kind of the that's the kind of things you'd expect with a Louis Vuitton briefcase. He had made a lot of money in Russia, and he bought the tiger green briefcase, and he'd come here, and it just fucking went terrible. It just, different country, different customs, different way of doing business, and it all fucking fell apart. So there you have it. That's the story on Yuri and his Louis Vuitton President Briefcase. That's the tiger green briefcase I've got. If only this briefcase could talk. And yep. And anyhow, what happened to the story? Does it have a happy ending? Well, the situation was pretty bad there. With the money that Yuri put into the mortgage trust, he was offered 40 cents in the dollar, and I think he's still fighting with that to get more. He wants to get his money back. And Yuri's actually it's quite sad, but Yuri actually faced court for propositioning women in the taxi for sexual favors, and they didn't quite see it the same as in Mother Russia, and they didn't quite see the funny side of a Russian guy wanting to stick his dick into them. So yep, different country, different customs. And I'm ArchieLuxury, and I hope you've enjoyed this tale. See you later.